Hey guys, welcome to Modders Inc. I'm Joe, and today we're going to be looking at the basic tools that you're going to need to sleeve your power supply. So, big question is, where do we get these tools? If you're located in the US, I recommend checking out mainframecustoms.com. Now, if you're located in the UK, you can actually get a lot of these same tools located at e22.biz. They are working together, that way they can offer the same tools, the same sleeving, and a lot of the same materials overall to both regions without you having to pay a lot in shipping. So let's go ahead and get started. First, we have our Ratcheting Crimp tool. So also known as just a crimper. As you just heard it kind of doing crick, 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 right back. That's my best impersonation of a ratchet. So we're going to leave it at that. What this is used to do is to terminate the terminals, or crimp the terminals to the end of the wire once you strip off the end. Now we're going to look at the wire stripper here in a few minutes, but what makes this tool different than the other crimpers you've probably seen is that the teeth are filed down. Now the teeth are filed down, that way you can crimp 16 gauge wire. On average, or for the most of the time, what you're going to see is tools that are designed to fit 18 gauge wire, which is a thinner wire compared to the 16. Remember, gauges work backwards. I actually prefer using this one. This is the custom tool by Mainframe, and the reason I like this one is I use 16 gauge wire. I find that it gives me better electrical transfer and better stability during overclocking. Now, this is our wire stripper, and this is actually what you use to strip off the ends of the wire whenever you need to put a crimp on them, or a terminal. They go by the same name, so you'll see me flip back and forth. The way this works is you'll take your wire, make sure y'all can see it, you'll just slip the wire in. Now this red piece that you see here is acting as a stopper. So you just put that in, pull back, and you'll have a stripped off end. I'm not sure if you can see it too well, but it's the dark spot right there. What that did was give us a perfect little stripped off piece, so we can now put our terminal on and crimp it down so the piece will end up like this. You can see this is the part that we actually need to fit inside our connector. This one actually has another function where it has a little blade up at the top. So you just put it in, and there you go. Up next is our flush cutter. Now you can use this to cut wire, to cut sleeving, little pieces of metal, whatever. This particular model, which is the CHP 170, is made in Italy, and it uses a steel cutting blade versus an aluminum cutting blade. What that means is this tool is going to last a lot longer, and it's not going to start getting dull. I mean, I've really abused this pair, and I still use it to cut wire, sleeving, paracord, just about anything I want, and it hasn't dulled out yet. I picked this up on Amazon for about $5. They kind of fluctuate between $5 and $10, depends on supply. But overall, this was a great value for the tool, and I would recommend these over the aluminum-based cutters any day. Now, this is what we call our extractors. So this is used for Molex. And Molex isn't used too much, but I still recommend picking one of these up. They're about $5, and this has the male and female end. So if you put a Molex connector on, you're like, I need to sleeve it still, just pop this in over the connector and then pull out. I'll actually show this with the next tool. So this is the ATX removal tool. This is the one by Lutro Customs. This is a little different from the ones you'll normally get. The teeth are a little bit longer. They're about 1/8 of an inch. And what that allows you to do is some connectors just have deep pits in them, and you actually won't get to the relief wings. I'll put up a diagram to show you the different parts of a terminal. But the relief wings are these little wings that shoot out. That way when you pull back, they don't come out of the connector. So here, you'll actually hear the relief wings click in. You might hear it. So that was actually kind of loud. So you can see that I'm pulling on this and it's not going anywhere. Now what I'll have to do is I'll have to put this tool into the receptacle where this wire is at. I'll press down, and you can actually feel a little bit of pressure whenever you press down. You want to keep this terminal or this tool straight. You don't want to move it side to side. Just pull and you're done. It's that easy. What you don't want to do is start moving this connector like left and right and up and down because you'll snap it. Even though it's a spring still, it can snap. And they do run about $10 a piece. You break enough and it's going to add up. Now this last tool we have here is the paracord threader. For those of you that don't know, paracord is what's used in parachute harnesses. It's a really durable material and we just happen to use it for sleeving. It's relatively easy to sleeve with, but because of its nature, some people get frustrated. I will do a video on how to use this and also do a video how you can sleeve without having to use this. This is only used for paracord, like I said. And what this does is it goes over the end of the terminal. You just fit it in place snugly and you feed it through the wire. That way it doesn't get caught on, snag on the paracord material. It is like a fabric and ruin it. Now the last tools we're going to show you is really, it's just the butane fuel. You can pick this up on Amazon for about $8. They range kind of depending on their size, but this particular one's about $8 shipped. It's prime. And then you have this one that is our torch lighter. And the reason I like using this, I live in Texas. It can get very hot. And when you have a lighter going on and off, on and off, on and off, and a heat gun going on and off, on and off, on and off, your room's going to heat up really fast. So you wouldn't have a fan on. But if you have a fan on, and you want to use a Bic lighter, unless you're directly under it, you're going to catch an edge and the flame's going to go everywhere and you can't get it a steady flame like you just saw. It kind of went sporadic. With this one, doesn't matter where you're at. Even sideways, it stays the same. These are about $10 a piece. You can pick them up on Amazon. They come in all sorts of different shapes. What I recommend is one that you just press down on, like this one, versus the Bic lighter, which you can still use a Bic lighter if you prefer, but on this one you have to press down and flick it, and it's got this little raspy area. And over time, after you do enough wires, it's going to start rubbing your skin raw. Versus this one where you press down and you're good. So that's an option to take in consideration. I still use the Bic lighter when I'm on certain jobs, and I'll show you what I mean in later videos. But overall, that was about it. You don't need too many tools. These tools are going to run you about maybe $100 to $120. And when you compare that to a professional sleeving job, which will run you usually around $250 plus. Sometimes you get them on the low end for $200. It's a worthy investment, especially if you want to do this to multiple rigs. And it is a fun hobby to do. Some people look at me funny when I say fun, but I actually enjoy it. So with that said, I'm going to get out of here, but feel free to follow us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and make sure to check out the Modders Inc. forums. Take it easy.
Hey, so how was the video? You liked it? I know I did. So, go ahead and subscribe. I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, it's one click. I mean, you've clicked on worse things before.